just because you want a more qualified lead doesn't mean you can just do everything different. So having that, and then the main thing is just getting them in the door. the One of the biggest things that we see happen all the time is people book people way too far out. You should not book anybody more than 3 days, 4 days maximum.
You're an inspiration to our entire organization.
Welcome to the Gym Marketing Made Simple podcast. We're going to be talking the done-for-you marketing and sales strategies proven to work with boutique fitness gyms to increase quality lead flow and grow your revenue. Don't try to be a professional marketer and waste tons of money. Let the experts at Lasso do it for you. And now, here are your hosts, Blake Ruff and Sherman Merritt.
All right, guys, here we go. Another episode of Gym Marketing Made Simple with Blake and Sherman. Today, we are going to keep it very simple for you guys, but we're going to drop a lot of great tips for you guys, great knowledge. We are going to talk about maximizing your leads, right? That is going to sort of be what we're going to dive in today, because we see a lot of people that, sort of come on board with us and they get these leads and now they have potential clients, but they don't know how to get them to sign up, right? They don't know. It is not the same as having your members bring in their friends and people that have, basically done all the research and they're just following your steps. When you're working with traffic that's a little bit colder, you have to know how to maximize these leads, how to close them, how to talk their language to do what they need to do. So we're going to talk about that today. Blake, I'm going to let you start it off, and then we're just going to take it from there.
Yeah, depending on when you're listening to this, going into January, end of the year, beginning of the year, New Year's resolutions, this will be a timely conversation to have. And just kind of some gold nuggets for you guys, some things that we see people do wrong, some tips, and then also just best practices, what we tell our clients to get the best conversion. So this won't even go across just cold leads. If you do this with warm leads, you'll even have better conversions, right? So this is just across the board, foundational, great advice to convert leads to clients. So first and foremost, guys, we say this all the time, you have to be responsive, quick responsive. So if you're able to respond within 5 minutes, you'll have an 80% chance of converting the lead to a sign up. So think about, the big box gyms, the Orange Theories, the franchises, they have an appointment setter that's just on top of it. And if you're taking a long time, and you guys probably know this by now, but people opt in for anything or buy anything off an emotional response. So if there are high emotions at the time, for whatever reason they may be, they just ate a really bad meal and they just feel super bloated, or they just haven't worked out in a week and they have a at home gym, they saw your ad or they opted in on your website, they're at their peak of their problem right then and there. If you wait hours or a day to get back to them, that problem might not be as heavy at that point anymore. It does not mean that they're at any point that problem is never going to come up again, but you're missing out on the prime emotional state and psychology of the person to get them to opt in at that point. So the other gyms that are on top of it, and here's the thing, they're not just opting in at your gym. They are probably opting in at 3 different options, because they're not hey, I just visited your website and that's it. And if they did, great. But if they did 3 other ones, who is going to win their business based on the response is going to be the quickest gym, right? As long as they don't blow it. But if you're the quickest one to respond, you're going to have the best chance to get them in your doors. So that is number 1, is response time. And so, having a CRM, we always say this, if you don't have a CRM, you should have a CRM. It pays for itself in 1 month, and it's just the cost of doing business. Secondly, so having that CRM and then having it automated, and don't say that hey, this is our auto responder. Make it sound like a real person and ask a question. Ask a question that we have found in just our research and working with over hundreds of gym, asking an or question. Are you looking for X or X? And making it very simple. When you ask open-ended questions, and this is like my tagline, don't make people burn mental calories trying to come in your gym. You want them to burn calories when they come into your gym working out. I always said we were gonna have one gold nugget. So that's gonna be my tagline to this one. So burning calories, like asking open, what is your goals in 3 months, 6 months? Have you done CrossFit before? Or what's your, like on a 1 to 10? How are you like motivated? Like you're gonna get those questions when they come in the gym. Everything is like Amazon Prime. Like get them in and stop creating friction to get them in your gym. They have so many other things going on their phone that is distracting them. If anything else comes up with like their kids, a phone call, work, they're not going to answer you because you made it too hard for them to come in. Now now the pivot, and Sherman, I'll let you go on this. A lot of gym owners are going to say, well, then they're not a qualified lead if they don't want to respond to me, right? If they don't want to answer those questions. Here's my honest truth, and I think we said this on another podcast. If you got into business only to work with, you're thinking 100% of leads are going to sign up for your gym or your business, you should have never got into business and you're lazy.
Yeah.
That's just blunt truth. Because we work with so many gym owners, and we're actually on a call with somebody today that said running paid ads is like sometimes you're going to throw a ball in the dirt, like a baseball analogy. And I'll trademark that for him. But there's going to be a lot of bad pitches. You don't worry about the bad pitches. You worry about the singles, the doubles, the triples, and the home runs, right? You're batting 300% and you're in the Hall of Fame. Just like with paid traffic, 10 to 20% conversion is amazing. So that means the other 80% to 90% probably wasted your time. But as long as you keep growing, that's all that matters. People are always going to waste your time. Sherman,
Yeah, to sort of piggyback off what you said, like we hear that more often than I like to admit. Everyone's like, we get on these calls and they're like qualified leads, and I understand what people are saying, right? Everyone just so still hurt and shell shocked by the whole bait and switch thing of years and years ago. I don't think there's too many people still doing that. I know there's some, but I don't think it's as prevalent as it was at one point. But this whole qualified.
Oh yeah, I saw an ad the other day from my town. Win $10,000 for signing up for.
Yeah, well, there we go. But I just believe that, sort of like Blake is saying, there's no way to only deal with the people that want to sign up, guys, right? Like, again, that is the organic traffic, the people that have done all the research. Your members refer them. Of course, those are easier sales, of course, because they've already decided, basically, they're just following protocol now. But when we get out here and get in front of people that don't know us, they don't trust us yet, they're just at work and they see something that pops up and they're like, man, I want to get in shape. And they give you their info. Well, there's an emotion attached to that. So getting back to them quickly, the speed that you get to the lead is very important, right? That's very important. And then once you get them in, you need to be able to talk about their problem, right? That's the recipe, guys. There's no magic secret. I don't care what anyone tells you. If someone's telling you, oh, don't run paid ads, they're lying to you, right? They have something to gain. Obviously, we have something to gain by you running ads, but you are going to have more at bats, to use Blake's baseball. Now, you're going to have more at bats by running paid marketing, right? And the more at bats, the more shots you get up. Basketball analogy. The better you get, right? When you're doing this thing the right way. So you guys have to be okay with dealing with some knuckleheads, for lack of a better term, as you continue to grow your business. Blake?
Yeah, so number one is quick response time and asking very simple questions. Don't ask long-winded questions or even open-ended questions. So having questions like, hey, what time works for you to come in, AM or PM? That way they don't have to check their calendar. They're going to know if they're free in the morning or in the evening. From there, hey, AM works. Sherman says, great, I have 7:30 or 9:30 in the morning. Then I can check my calendar, right? making them put a lot of mental bandwidth into something is something you just don't want to do. So, because in this world that everything is just like click and I get it, it shows up in my house, or just, this immediate satisfaction. If you go away from that, they're not used to that. You can't just because you want a more qualified lead doesn't mean you can just do everything different. So having that, and then the main thing is just getting them in the door. One of the biggest things that we see happen all the time is people book people way too far out. You should not book anybody more than 3 days, 4 days maximum. If somebody tells you A, they can't come in for 10 days, probably most likely they're actually not ready to join a gym because they can't make time for it. B, and if it's truly like, hey, I'm going on vacation, whatever, then you just say, hey, I'm going to reach out to you next Monday and we'll get that scheduled for you, because I can't schedule that far out yet. That way we can connect on Monday and make sure that time still works for you. If you schedule somebody 10 days out, they are going to forget and they are not going to show up. So if you're having a problem getting people to show up, that is crucial, is limiting your window down to 3 to 4 days. And then lastly, having a confirmation sequence that makes them say yes, that they're going to show up. There is something just intuitively that they feel like they're going to show up more when they say yes to something, rather than just like there's no confirmation. So, and if they don't say yes and they don't confirm, they're not going to show up. So asking that 24 hours before, and simply, if they don't confirm, guys, they're not going to show up to your gym. So don't waste the headaches of driving to your gym like I've done before, thinking they might show up. They're not going to show up. So I think those are like just the biggest things to getting them into the door that are super crucial.
Yeah. No, I think, I sort of want to dive into this confirmation sequence. In your CRM, shout out to Push Press. If you need to have a confirmation sequence set up to confirm that they will be there, right? Because this is the question that we get a lot of times when folks don't have the confirmation sequence set up. One of the things they're worried about is, well, if I get all these appointments and they don't show it, I'm going to the gym 5 times a day for appointments that don't show. And then we introduce them to the confirmation sequence. It's like a game changer for them. And like Blake said, if someone does not confirm for their appointment, do not show up. Here's the worst thing that happens. They don't confirm and they show up. When they reach out to you, you say, hey, I didn't think you were coming. I do this all the time, and we don't show up for appointments that don't confirm. Any logical thinking person will say, oh, okay, I understand that. So do not waste your time on people who are not confirming, who aren't following protocol for the gym, right? Because if you're a gym owner listening to this and you've had a gym for a decent amount of time, we've all wasted thousands and thousands of hours driving across town, missing family functions and events to go to an appointment that doesn't show, right? So that's really important. If you get nothing else from this podcast, I personally would say get the confirmation sequence set up. And if you don't have a CRM, reach out to the guys at Push Press.
So let's summarize this, and then let's keep this one short. Under 15, I like it. A, getting the leads in. It doesn't mean everybody's going to sign up. Count on 10 to 20%. Speed is number one. Getting back to people within 5 to 10 minutes is crucial. If you're not doing 5 to 10 minutes, it's not that they're bad leads. You're not doing a good job on your responses. Asking simple questions, not asking open-ended questions. Making it frictionless to get booked. Do not send people links.
Yes, don't do that.
People links.
Stop being lazy.
Stop being lazy. Yeah, just, hey, book it for them. Make it easy for the client, right? Make it easy for them. Book them into the appointment. And then don't show up if they don't confirm and have that confirmation. Those 4 to 5 things will really change. They sound simple, guys, and we get it. Like, maybe these don't seem like massive things, but doing these simple 5 things, 4 things, 5 things will really transform your lead nurture process to get them into the gym. And I think, maybe on the next podcast, we can go into like sales script, and really dialing that in as we're going into the new year and having more consults and how to close more.
Yeah. No,
you got 1 minute.
no, that's good. No. Yeah, no, that's good. We're trying to have a popcorn episode, guys, a quick one. Popcorn marketing, right? So,
That's a good
come on, man. So, as usual, you guys tell a friend to tune in, and we will chat with you guys next week. All right, guys.
Yeah. Thank you for listening to the Gym Marketing Made Simple podcast with Blake Ruff and Sherman Merricks. We hope you enjoyed. We believe marketing should increase revenue and not waste money. So book your free call today. Head on over to lassoframework.com. That's lassoframework.com and find the right words, get more customers, and increase your revenue. We'll see you here next time.